now that I'm talking about this, this is only February 13th. The Neptune-Saturn thing that hasn't happened in 6,000 years happens for me, and they're calling us the chosen ones, the ones that have it happening on their ascendant, because of how it's looking, how that these certain people are feeling this energy. And see, now talking about feeling energy, there isn't any better of a description of the part of the organism that in fact is what astrology is talking about, is different aspects of ourselves in one. That's why you can have all the signs in one, and then you have planets in placement of there, right? Your astrological chart is consisting of all 12 signs, and if you're doing it right, it's based in the evolutionary process, which is a constant thing of the I am. It's kind of like the wheel that we're on, and a lot of us that know that this very plane right here, the world that's an illusion, the body itself, no, that process goes on and on. You have to avoid coming back to the bullshit here. That's what the Buddha would say, right? And I think Christ Jesus, any scientist that was wise enough, just a woman, would start to display some information that is reflecting on the concern of that kind of scientific fact, that you're going to come back here to something that it's more than just finding the trash that you left there. It's like, whoa, did you really build that and think it was going to last? Now you have to take a tractor and take it out. Why are your children all poisoned? And you have to deal with karma of the trash that you didn't realize you lived in your next lifetime. If it's just that you come back as a worm and you try to live in the soil and you just can't. Would you please just become more aware of the interconnectedness of everything? Don't be like one of these people that dare live up into the mountains and start telling you that we can do anything we want on our property. And it's like, that's an unsound, incoherent statement. Would you please keep talking, in case the kids were watching, because they're expecting to hear, but not without people being able to feel it, smell it, see it. So what are you going to do? Build a fucking fence? How high are you going to build it? And how many officers are you to call on people that are actually, they're far more, they're the leader. In fact, they might be. Anyway, that's my story. I'm trying to get back to tripping out that it's like, wow, this is very real for me. That I've been struggling to get a form of support that can only be a band-aid, right? Because we know that I need to get my own financial life together, man. I have to just fucking handle it all by myself. That's where it's like, okay, well, but I understand that, but okay, I have a lot that I'm trying to decide to work with. I don't have very many people in my life that I can say that has been legitimate connection that communicates something that says, no, I see there is a lot of value and potential with just the Libra generation. Libra, in fact, it points at the late bloomer, late October, and that's the time when, well, if it happens, there you go, you have late bloomers, because love, even though it doesn't wait for anybody, it's going to take its own time. See, it's a very complicated thing. Love is not for everybody. So eventually you're going to get over the ego and the act, like the look of having found love, like that is very fake. See, a lot of times they'll have to just get over it, and even have the kids send them off. They are now out of the house. The late bloomer is now saying, already divorced, right? Because they're like, well, with a Libra, they know sometimes it's like, well, it's just time to move on. We, if you are, and I say we because I have a son in Libra, and I can technically say I'm a Libra. So we're going to talk about relationships now. We're one of the, out of all those zodiac signs, we're the only ones that have very meaningful relationships. In fact, what we'll do is will have many of them that are actually very much a love connection, see. Now, I'm not saying that, no, that it's always like that with Libra. Libra has a problem too because it's not very strong in the sun sign. So it depends on what you're looking at. But Libra in general is a very strong warrior type sign because they say, I love. And that right there is basically dangerous behaves. And it's kind of what I wanted to talk about for however long that I can, even though, see, right now I know that I'm in a place that, well, of course, I've never been here before, having to handle the things that I want to handle, but I am not getting good support. I'm getting slowly, I'm being, pressure is being put on me. And it's so natural in some people to wear a mask and they have all the time in the world. In other words, really what it is they have all the resources in the world to manipulate you. And it's always never enough, right? I mean, of course it's not. I'm not asking for people, no, you got to come up with something. No, see, but the thing is, oh my God, this is so fucking painful. When it's fake love and when you're putting time and work into it, when it's fake love and you're putting time and work into it, it's going nowhere. You're wasting your time. In fact, there is great danger that you can waste more than just time. The saying goes that whoever has the gall to steal your time will steal anything else. And that's what I'm looking at. The biggest concern is the fact that some of us are trying to retrieve our souls. We have somehow found ourselves experiencing such trauma and grief, PTSD caused by either observing a collapse of somebody or their own life or the relationship or whatever that causes people to go into disembodiment. And now they have to retrieve all the things that to nurture themselves to help to health, that they have to retrieve the things that brings them joy. And that's something that most of the population don't really know what that is. Well, most of the population are they're teetering. And it's right now it's in the shade of 92% people don't know that there is they sense that there's a problem. And see, a lot of them are like, wait a minute, they know that there's something that they're missing, right? There's got to be, right? You don't know everything. See, the narcissist thinks that they know everything and they can't go wrong. And it's very dangerous to be constantly influenced by these kinds of people because they're not doing the right work with you there. They're not really considering any of the work that they're not, there's not anybody there real at all that is considering and reflecting back something that you can use of you. It's a broken mirror, shattered most likely. And so the phenomena is they're not a reliable reflection of who you are being towards them at any time, let alone if there was a reality that you can find a bunch of cameras at and say, look, that person dances like this or whatever. They are just not reliable as human beings. And that's what we have mainly right now. It's teetering that way. Somebody's like thinking, but they're being gaslit. They're like, but I was trying to have a conversation with that person somewhere along the lines that I'm pretty sure I knew and they knew what we're talking about. And see, that's being gaslit. And they don't know that they're being gaslit by a narcissist. Maybe they're gaslit by somebody who's gaslit that doesn't know that how to talk about the gaslit, and they don't know that in fact it's all a gaslit. Will you get into the gaslight? It's called words. Words. It could be that. It could be. But people's behaviors can be highly gaslighting too. You just look at it a little bit, and then if you meditate and refocus, it's like, you know what? That is the weirdest fucking behavior I have ever observed. Because you would think, you know what, I would have just done the whole puzzle and impressed not only myself, but in case the kids are watching, them too. Right? It's always half-assed, and no rhyme and reason with narcissists because they're doing things for a complete. They're not human for one, so they don't know what the purpose is of anything. See, that's the difference. I want to fucking make sure that you people know, please, if there's anything, if I disappear, know that I'm trying to do this for you. Don't mix it up and say, oh, fucking humans are terrible. No, humans are actually the most beautiful accomplishment here that is supposed to happen as a civilization. It's not happening very well. We just have the non-human backdrop, and it's, if you can imagine there being an influx of population, and then, babes, if you don't like that idea, then here's this. Do you like the Epstein file idea? Do you like that influx? And there's a number of just people being mowed down and missing, and you can hardly notice it, right? You can hardly notice it. Why do you think that we should maybe find out how to not correct that thing? Because I don't know about you, but even though that's going on and how lonely it feels amongst 7 billion so-called people, which I don't know, it's highly questionable, right? Who counted them all? Yeah, right. I um I refuse to believe that I don't matter, right? That I'm that absolutely, like, just, the feeling you get, which is like, I just don't matter. What does it matter? I know a lot of people right now are saying, and they could, if they're really good people, they say, well, Shauna, just keep being happy. Make yourself happy. Reach for joy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I am. I have been. And that's my question. I'm like, what does it matter now? I'm 51 years old, and I can't remain a kid saying, oh God, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, because everybody's like, when is that little twerp gonna fucking learn? And I'm telling you, I am like forever a kid because I am Aries, and I'm like, if it's to end up like you people, I'm never gonna learn. In fact, I think that there's a few things I need to unlearn, and one of them is to think that you have any say so over my life or any better way than what I am coming up with as a demonstration man. I'm talking about. And this is the fucking Aries vibration. They're like, babes, I move as action in action like fire. Are you one of these people, like, it could be that some people have a lot of earth and water or something, and they think that right there needs to be tamed. And it's like, no, it doesn't. You need to get away from it and go find somebody who's your own speed. We are probably most likely never going to change. We're not bothering to figure out where you're coming from about, as far as that you don't align with who we are. There are 7 billion people on the earth. Go find somebody with whom that you can fucking supposedly jive with. I'm guaranteeing you right now that you will find a time or point in your lives that you will clash. You will not see eye to eye like that. You will, all of a sudden, you're going to think, well, what are they choosing? Are they choosing not to see that we are different? And now I have to set my difference aside, or whatever it is I am, in order to accommodate their lack of seeing the difference, and just have them stick out more because they're different, and I can accept it, but they can't. It's like, you know what I'm saying? More maturity is needed to start fucking dealing with the fact that not even twins born at the same time here are the same. Your narcissist has problems with that they're not you, right? And they can't be you, and you're not them. You don't know. I hate to say it because a lot of us can be guilty of this. So I know that I look like this all the time. You don't know what I know. You don't sound like the way I sound. And babes, this is the thing. There isn't anything new under the sun here. The narcissist is apt to think they're so very special. It's really arrogance. Like they are just set way aside and apart. And it's like, no, we understand that there's differences, but you're not different in that you have a profound responsibility to just become a decent presence to not just the truth here, in case the kids were watching and you wanted to impress somebody, even yourself for sure, number one, but to be a decent presence to other people and the suffering, perhaps, and even your own suffering for sure. Because you want to, just overall, you want to achieve becoming a decent presence here to the environment, other living things, your life, most importantly, number one. And so anyway, here I am doing something that it's actually trying to cure myself of having been disrupted. I didn't realize that I was doing such the right thing by asking for just a little bit more time and space, because why? Well, I bet you anything, if you're in early degree Aries, you're just saying, no way, I don't dislike you people. I don't like the fact that people are trying to love me and be close to me and stuff, especially through the hard time that I'm apparently. But see, here's the thing: is some of us, me. No, this is different than the hard time that I was having 4 years ago. That I was begging for help, and by the way, no real help came to me. I had to start helping somebody else get what they wanted through me, and I was giving too much. And on top of that, that's just me backed up against the wall and going, "Oh, I could be there for you." And they would never really get into that scenario, like admit that that happened. Of course, your enemy is never going to say uh, anything of the. It's hard to tell you that's true, because a lot of times you'll see them flip over and say, "No, exactly. It says right here, I can manipulate you as long as you think that I love you," or something like that. And see, when you start having difficulty, which I am, this is very difficult. My love life has been fucking infiltrated by something that doesn't know what love is, and I can only look at their history, right, and we can only like try to get a second or third party witness therapy or something, and say, and I'll say, this is why I think that they don't really know what love is. First of all, most of the Earth's population do not know what love is. It's the same exact same to say that they don't know what God is. Well, I like this one, babes. I'm a Buddhist and I'm going to keep going. Let's talk about it. It's the same to say that they don't know what reality is. That's a conversation that you'll need to bother to have if you find out what's really going on here, and you have made a breakthrough, if you're really somebody accomplished, and you can be of some use to humanity. Really, the upcoming movement is that we need you. We need you to carry on with this conversation and handle the blowback, the triggering that happens with people that, oh, they're sure they know what reality is. And they will tell you that it's everything but. But just hang tight, babes. Do you know what reality is, by the way? Do you remember? A lot of people don't really have a clue as to what it really is. Now, I will say it's the only true and real God that there is, in case you want to end the confusion that Christianity might have caused, even though, no, Christ is all about it. This is what the living body of Christ is. It's just that people that can get on the fucking same page and open up an account with reality and start handling the truth, baby. In case the kids were watching, especially them overgrown toddlers that seem to work really hard doing something, but it's really, they're working hard for a lot of nothing, because there's a lot of sparks flying for the sake of just their own selfish need to hide inside something, because they're extremely paranoid. Paranoia causes people to want to fit in, like to the extent of, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to stick out. You have to be boisterous. Make sure people see you. I am here. Establish a sign. Put up some lights. Do this and that and trump around. And that's all it takes, folks, to be a solid presence, respectable on this plane. What do you think? Does it see, sparks are flying and nothing's getting done, right? It's not even a real fire. Did you send anybody smoking lately? Ah, man, then you're a fake. Come on now, I am. Be the I am that is Ram, baby. And that is not the AI, that is the IA. Yeah, and it's not looking good for me here, because I'm stuck in the West here. There is no place for me to go but to the courthouse at this point. And I'm taking my right to remain reality, which is now all we can do is have a conversation to try to see if we even know what that is, right? Right? And that's what I'm doing. I'm like, because they do say in God, like in God we trust, that's reality. See, they say, the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. And it's like, of course. But I would love to hear more through definition. I don't know if I have time or leeway away from the jargon that you're running here. But I want to open up the conversation even more. I don't expect to win. All I have is a story to tell you. It's not, I'm not making anything up. See, this is the thing about the courthouse, is that they know the difference. They see it every day. They see it every day, and they I don't know how that they sleep at night, because they see that a lot of innocent people are being raked over there, because they don't know how to handle themselves temperamentally when they find out now that they are being put up there, and they're going to have to listen to a liar that is doing the act of lying because they want to just get fucking power over you. I'm just telling you a little bit of a thing that I'm going through, and it's like, okay, so, but no, I have to tell them the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. I love that too. It's like, okay, because I want, by way of God, the same God that you know that I know, babes, I'm a spiritual person. I'm very, very concerned with God. The true God, though, the true light of day. I'm a truth-oriented person, definitely. So I was relieved that maybe I would be heard and we can close out some misunderstanding that was happening, and the stuff that went on over there. It was just the camel that broke the straw back, as far as noticing that, you know what, it's actually time to have a conversation that would benefit you too in the quality of your life here. Otherwise, shit is about to go on. Includes a bunch of fucking dumpsters that were placed out there right when I received a notice that says you can't talk anymore, or something like that. It was weird. It's like, I don't even know how that is even legal. Those people need to mind their own business. Keep their fucking earmuffs on that they're trying to give me, or something. What the fuck happened there? Anyway, I know what happened. I know what happened. But anyway, some of this I'm exaggerating. Like, hey, we figured it out. No, I know what's up. And you have freedom of speech more than you know. You just have to insist that they start making sense to themselves. Make sure you get on the same page. Make sure you know what silence means. Put down just make sure you see the word see in there. And that means to just quietly observe. It doesn't mean that sound is void and you can't hear anything anymore. Nope. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do. And even though, you know, they're trying to throw their petty life at me, and they don't think that I will blow it up into such a big issue. It might change the global population forever, because it happens to be time to do that. You know, I was trying to tell you that there's a fucking Neptune traveling over some people's ascendant. This means that I can hit stardom overnight by simply having did a combination through words or something, and then I come up with something that, okay, babes, I am doing something with the English alphabet. I am under attack constantly, I'm trying to sustain myself under stress, where I try to ask for help, I don't get it, but I'm here to tell you that I didn't find it. It found me, and I'm supposed to just tell you, babes, for the rest of your days, you're going to have to figure out how to stay in contact or access to your own potential here as a human being. A human being is highly creative, but they need resources to work it. They need land, water. See, that's your rights, by the way. Those are your birthrights. And you don't need to work for money to pay for that stuff. No. You have to claim your own constitutional rights here. There's only one Bill of Rights made for one type of person. One person who is trying to convince us that there's just one God. Therefore, we got this one happy, jolly old fucking nation that is doing civil war 165 years ago to itself. Why? Here's why. I bet you here's why. They were implementing the public schools. They weren't the higher learning mystic schools anymore that were They were ran by the Rosicrucians. And then more and more that people, if you look up the Rosicrucians, they went underground. They minimized their selves, includes, of course, possible inbreeding and keeping something in the family. The White House is built upon the Rosicrucian faction. And see, that Rosicrucian faction would disappoint a lot of people and leave them in the dark because they were following them. They were following closely some Gnostic teachings that are very ancient and true. And that's kind of the deception that's going on right now, is that, no, that's not a White House over there, that's a black house. Watch out. They're not doing, it's twisted. It's not been long since deception has been implemented. And see, when that began to happen, they would have a civil war. People that were under the impression that no, we will govern ourselves based in our own constitutional rights. What governs us is what feels good for us. And see, a lot of people don't even know what the fuck the word constitution means, right? Will you be kind to a potential 7 billion people here? And first of all, don't make me feel so alone, but look up the word constitution. Take into consideration that there's a suffix there, shun. So there's constitute, but still, what kind of word is that? Is it a verb? Is it an action that says this is ongoing because something is functioning, right? So that needs to be straightened out. Like, how do you understand that? I understand it as that there's constituents here. It might be related to the word constituents. Now, these are friends. These are people that you see eye to eye with every day, and you say, fuck, I am great to have, isn't it great that we made it here in the beautiful waterway and pine smell, and you got a flat tire, I'll fix it for free. It's no problem. I don't work at the garage over there and charge $95. No, that's not suitable for not even a judge. After a while, they're like, one of those people, huh? Well, time to switch the monies around. We have a problem with poverty anyway. Some rich pigs are forcing it onto people because they just don't know how to share. It's all one organism out there, but they don't seem to know how to live together. And why are we here? Says the courthouse, if they were actually any help to us. They'll say, why do you need us? What the fuck happened to you people? Why can't you just work your own shit out? You're going on more and more belief and not a be with. There's more and more fucking paperwork that is no good, but if you can wipe your ass on it, you'll be secure for like a lifetime of toilet paper. And stop abusing the ultimate reality, which is just a blank. That's the best-selling fucking paperback that happened when you needed a savior, right there, and you wiped your ass right on it. Just, your life is a blank. Start now and figure out how to live together. Go out there and say, you know what, I can be something different than this cretin that is beginning to feel a conscience because maybe I was wrong about something. Maybe I am wrong sometimes. Maybe I should go up to the judge and say, you know what, fuck this. Let all this go, will you please? Let's see if this person actually approaches me with a crowbar, and I'll call you if I have a gash right here. That's the way I was supposed to operate it. That officer should have known better. How dare they make me look like a fucking big baby? And who are those people? Send money, please. It's not going to help me. What I want is real people in my life now. I have a 3D world. Very little money I need, by the way. And what has kept me away from what I think is even a true love from coming in my life, just another one person that can help me immensely here, is a fake love that came to me. They don't know what love is. And I was trying to tell you in the beginning about how dangerous it is that once you are brought to ugliness and not being able to recognize yourself at all, because they have just trampled all over you, they're not doing the right work. I mean, you're supposed to not take it personally because they don't know they're doing it. That's just who they are. That's how they are. They're just being exposed to something that has horrible programming. And it's like, uh-oh, don't let the elephant into the china shop kind of thing. Right? And now if there's a generational difference, it's quite possible. But the thing about narcissism is that it knows no age difference. No, there's the same fucking thing operating like very predictably. It's unfortunate once you figure out that how boring they are. They're operating very vain, and it can get very complicating if you let them play their fantasy on you and make you their fantasy object that they can pick up and put down during holidays or whatever it is. See, it's different if you're a female, if you're diagnosed with narcissists. You are automatically coupled up as a psychopath because of the position of power that you're in as a woman. You have power over men, and you can actually birth like 12 children if you really wanted to go to town, and then you can start having dominion over them. So that's technically a psychopath right there, because most likely they've already did something that is confusing the fuck out of some man, and I don't want to run into these people anymore. They're out there, and they seem to be they think they know what they want, and it's like, uh-oh. Why is it that I sense that we all should know plainly, and you can maybe talk about it a little bit, communicate about it, say, well, kabloop blah about what I would like. It's something I would like to share with you, and if you've been there, babe, if you've been around the block, you know how to take them there. Now I'm talking about sex, I guess, but see, sex and enlightenment are one of the only subject matters. In fact, I think they're the only subject matter that if you have walked the walk, then you can talk the talk in such a way that a person will double take and say, excuse me, but say that again. And then with sex, it's like, yeah, that's exactly right. Hold on a minute. Lock the door, turn the curtains off, let's go to town. Because, yeah, it's hard to get a woman in bed otherwise. You're going to have to find out the magic act of a lot of things, but one of the basics is never not bring her what she needs. Find out what she needs, even if she's Lolita. See, the problem with Lolita on the light pole over there that's looking for a place to live that doesn't have a car or even a purse, you can breadcrumb her with the very least and just stick your dick in it, and you don't even know that you just wanted to stick your dick in something. Stick to your hand a little bit more, babe, please. You're not even in control there. I mean, at least gain a little sense of like taste, especially respect for yourself, right? Taste for your own. Anyway, sorry. But other than that, some women can be complicating. They have a car, or maybe they have a home, or maybe they have a demeanor about them that you just like turn her attention to it. Like the saying goes, just throw a bunch of material at her and she's going to put it together. So find out what she needs, really. Already you have to be kind of observant. You can't fake this either. See, if it's faked in the beginning and just because you want her to yield her entire inner world to you, you want to have sex with her, right? That's bottom line. A lot of men are just like that. I know with me, that's like, it's a given. And it's disappointing because there isn't a friend there. Especially when it turns out like, okay, so there's a transaction that I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get money. I'm working a business, and there's a man there that says, oh, I like that product. And then he does a double take, and he's like, this is such a good deal. But he goes like this and looks at me, and he's like, all right, I'll be back. And then he's like, hey, yeah. And he's happy to give me the money. But then when he finds out that I want nothing to do with him sexually, that there's a possibility, no, there isn't a chance. Why? Well, because I don't just have sex with every single one that does that with me. Woo! I know I'm not that good looking or anything, but no, believe me, every single one will have to jump the hurdle of when it comes to my business and I'm giving them a good deal, but then they say, you know what? Fuck this bitch. She's not going to want to sleep with me. Nothing. I'm going to torture her by not giving her the money. I can go somewhere else and get this product. And so they go there. And then this has happened over and over again with many different men. And then so then what happens? I know for a fact it's because they're thinking, but that was a great deal. I got a product from her that was so much more less money. And so they're like, fuck, I want to save money. And so they come back and they try to do it again. And no, they have issues, man. It's hard to describe. After a while, it's like, okay, so you need some kind of other therapy, and you're not going to give me any money for that, most likely. And I just want to make it so that I don't live unstable and in fact, at the mercy of having to depend on one of you fucking people that don't know how to, well, you don't know that not everybody is going to think that you're God's gift, right? And if you are, good for you. That means that you're not disappointing women at all, not sexually. You don't really have to jump through the hoops financially, finding out what secret thing she needs. You just have to talk to her in a certain way. And if she's actually sexual, and at that time where she just wants to have fun or something, and she can, she's gonna, and there's chemistry, and you start talking to her about it. It's the same with enlightenment. You cannot talk the talk unless you've walked the walk, and then you get the attention of that person who's actually been there. See, otherwise you have jock talk. You have a disrespectful kind of spectrum, and then the woman is just like, she's not turned on at all. She's like, why do I want to have anything to do with this? Well, now you have to couple it, right? You have to make sure, did you try giving her anything that she needs? Did you bring her a salt shaker that broke the other day, and you saw it, and you're like, here's another salt shaker? Or are you, but now, are you pretending to be that alert and aware and responsive to who she is and what she needs? Or is it that you're going to allure her in, common scenario, what I'm talking about, happy Valentine's Day. You're going to allure her in with the action of giving her what she needs. For Lolita, it's very simple. She just needs a place to stay. And he's like, fuck, I got this. I'll hit her at 10 p.m. I don't even have to ask her. There is no conversation needed. She doesn't have, he figures that person there doesn't have the grounds with which to say, excuse me, no, not like that. I would like to be treated like this. No, she's just like, thank God I'm warm in bed. It was so cold today. You know what I mean? Babes, and having said that, you women, will you knock it off a bit? Stop having kids for a while? I know it sounds really harsh too, and out of all the people, babes, I love kids. Out of all the people that could have been an excellent example of a mother, I am a 6 Aries rising, 6 degrees. That is the number of the pregnant woman, the pregnant lady, the provider, the one that is bursting with. She just has like plants growing on her, and she's throwing it out and say, here, eat it, eat it, eat it. I'm ready, and eat me. What's the saying? Eat and drink of me now. I'm ripe and ready. I'm pregnant. It's a metaphor for some people, spiritual. See, I'm going to go to court, and I'm going to tell them I'm a spiritual person. That's why I do storytelling. I do astrology. I think that it's very an unfamiliar and unappreciated thing where I live, and I would like to know, is there any kind of protection for me? There, you mentioned the word God right away, and that's where I'm feeling totally safe to just talk to you about it. I'm a high priestess. I have midwifed births and deaths. I'm a kind of midwife. I'm a transformational guru. People come to me and they don't even know, well, change is about to happen for you, babes. Do you realize why I'm here? Because I'm going to be here for you through this certain time in your life. And then you might look back and say, you know what, man, you were there. And all I'm doing is like, well, I'm being who I should be. And ideally, it should set an example for you that maybe that can happen for you too, that you can be there for somebody in a very real way that only hindsight will show you that, no, that person was actually very much more wise than I was. And they were doing something that only a high priestess can do. Yeah. And I'm an oracle. I speak. I do astrology. And so I think I'll have no trouble there being known, but I have to I have my foot in the door now, and I'm going to continue to ask for support here from random people saying, no, this is difficult, but no, if you figure, I'll let you know personally what happened with the conversation when it starts to open up as to establishing what God that they're talking about, and that do they know that you can never tell the truth here? There's got to be some way that we can work this, and there is. You just go general and you start knowing your words, and go ahead and do birds in the words, babes. Say, I understand silence as being seeing, and not necessarily trying to decorate the experience of something with words, but really just telling a story that if 12 jurors heard it, they would be able to see the difference between somebody telling a story and somebody making something up completely. Because usually the one that's lying and having to make stuff up to make somebody that can just tell a story and say, hey man, oh, and actually they see the one telling a story will express remorse. They won't. The court recognizes that. You just have to take time and say, do you realize now that we got on the same page about the God that we know, that they are the spiritually possessed? Indeed, you heard this once before, but I'm dead serious about this. And well, I just need like $5 to consistently come in from 500 people. Whoa, you wouldn't believe the changes that I would let you know how it affects me, how grateful I have. But I'm not asking for that much. I'm asking for very little. I'm asking for the same breadcrumbing that is going on with this one single solitary person that isn't consistent enough for me to feel safe at all. In fact, I would like to think that we're meant for each other, but no, we were meant to learn something from each other. And I don't know if they're learning anything from me that is going to come back at me and say, no, Shauna, this and this and this and this and this and this. But I don't have anything good to say very much, because too less has been spoken. There's not enough spoken coming to me. I'm looking at something that is like sheer darkness, and it makes me feel a certain way that you don't have to say anything to feel that, right? Empaths. And I've been trying to make this thing work, that God, and Aries is relentless, right? And Aries just, they'll take it to a point where not many people will be able to survive it. They would have given up a long time ago, but they just keep trying, or they keep giving. This is what's happening with the divine Aries type, is that we just keep giving you a chance. And in the game of relationships, really, when we are really getting into the work that needs to be done, if you're able to do the work and it's true love, and you guys are actually going to start growing together, the thing is that it gets to be like hardball playing, where no, this person shouldn't be expected to ask for you to do the right thing all the time, and you shouldn't have to ask to do the right thing. That's just crazy. No matter if you're in a long-term relationship or whatever you're doing, you do not have to ask anybody to do the right thing. I mean, if somebody has fallen backwards in their wheelchair, and you don't even have to ask yourself. Fucking spontaneously respond and impress your own self and say, you know what? I'm gonna fucking trust that first response and ask questions later. The best question is did anybody see that? Did anybody see how quickly I moved to where that wheelchair didn't really even hit the ground, baby? See, some people will watch it fall and they'll think, is it my job to go over there and lift it up? And then you go and you go to the bathroom and you come out, and now they're dead. Just because something was wrapped around their throat or something, and it's like, and if you would have lifted them up, they wouldn't have died. How much of that is going on where people just don't know how fucking vital it was to just show up and do the right thing without asking? So people are conducting relationships. They think it's very deep. that now you're going to ask me and tell me what to do. And it's like, nah, only if you're getting it right in a certain area that I can care for. But if you can't really be present, I don't even think that you qualify to go there with me, baby. Woo! Hey, now, do I have to wear a chastity belt? Maybe. I don't know. Why? You'd think we were just getting warmed up.